Greetings, Matthews. This is Mrs. Mounts, and today we are going to start a popcorn project. But first, all right, last one's bad, right? Okay, let me get my screen ready. Popped open here. Here we go. All right, so you are going to start with an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, okay? And what we're gonna do is we are going to make popcorn boxes. And let's see if I can get this. So I'll show here. There we go. So I'm gonna have you go through one example, what you're going to be doing on this. Okay, so eventually we're going to be cutting out different size pieces in a corner and then analyzing it. Okay, and the goal of this activity is to find out which popcorn box is going to give us the best volume. Okay, so if we were working for a company, we want to say, hey, we want to utilize the materials so that we get the most popcorn in this size box. So the first thing you're going to do is grab a piece of cardstock, and I'm going to have you cut out an inch square from all the corners. Okay, so you'll definitely need a ruler. So I know normally we use centimeters, but on this activity we're going to use inches. So what you need to do on each corner is measure an inch. Now make sure on your ruler the paper's right on this edge and you're right at an inch in, and just make a little mark. Turn your paper, and this way I've got the paper edge on 1 inch, and then I make sure that I make a mark at 0. Okay, so now I just complete the line here. Okay, you can extend it a little bit, that's fine. Okay, and then we will eventually cut each of these out. Okay, so it's going to take a little bit of time for you to do that. I'll demonstrate one more, and then I'll want you to pause the video. So I'll just show one more here. So I'm 1 inch in on the corner. Turn your paper, mark 1 inch right here on the edge of the paper, and then make a mark at 0. Okay, so this little step will take a little bit of time. Let's see, so we have 4 corners where we are going to cut out an inch. Okay, so I'd like you to pause the video right now. You go ahead and do that, and then you need to carefully cut those 4 corners. All right, so you have your 4 corners cut out now, and we're going to do some labeling here. All right, so we started off with an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock. So everything I'm labeling, make sure that you label on yours. Now let's get the new dimensions of our popcorn box. We're eventually going to bend these ends up. We're going to have a popcorn box without a lid. Okay, so we're not going to take the lid into consideration, just this 8.5 piece, 11 piece of paper. We're going to make different size popcorn boxes, again, without lids. So this side is 8.5. Well, we ended up taking an inch and an inch. So I am going to subtract 2 inches. So our new dimension, when we fold the box up, the bottom side of the box will be 6.5 inches. Okay, now I'm going to go over and label all of these little dimensions 1. That is going to be the height of our box. So just go around, label all of those 1. So again, when we bend those corners up, the height of our box is going to be 1. Well, let's get the length of our box. So the original piece of paper is 11 inches. We took an inch from both sides. Let's subtract off the 2 inches. And so the length of the bottom of the box will be 9 inches. Okay, and we'll see that here shortly when we bend those up. Okay, so let's get what our area is now. On the original piece of paper, okay, so I'm just going to put original. The area is length times width. So our area would be 11 times 8.5. Okay, so I'm going to grab my calculator, find out what the square inches would be on that. Okay, just type it along with me here. So our area originally is 93.5 inches squared. So to get the new area, we have our original, which is 93.5. And what did we take away? All right, well, what chunks are missing? We have 4 1-inch chunks missing. So I'm going to minus 4. So how did I get that? For this one, it's 1 inch times 4. That was the cutout. So I subtract that, just subtract 4, and we're left with 89.5 inches squared. Now what about the volume? So the volume for a rectangular prism is length times width times height. Now for this, we can definitely just use our new dimensions. Okay, so I'm just going to put use new. I'll use those new dimensions. So our length, and I could put the word length there. Feel free to do that. That helps you. Our new length is 9. Our width, okay, from straight up above here, our new width was 6.5. And our height is the chunk that we ended up taking out. So we ended up just taking an inch out. Okay, and so that's going to be our new height. Go ahead and multiply that. 9 times 6.5. And I could put times 1, but you know anything times 1 is itself. That is our volume for this popcorn box, 58.5 inches. This would be cubed. Now you will fill out this information on the lab sheet for 1 inch. Then what you do, you take your ruler and you bend up the sides the best that you can to create this popcorn box. Okay, and the ruler may help, I don't know, it looks like I'm kind of doing it without the ruler. I'm just bending these sides up the best I can, right at 1 inch. We're going to make a bunch of these, and just so you get a good visual of what the popcorn box will look like. And then at the end of the lab, should be next week, in a few days here, we will bring popcorn in, and you will actually fill a few of these popcorn boxes to see how many kernels actually will fit in. Now, when the lab is done, we definitely want to pick the boxes with the best volume. This is just our first example. You're going to be cutting out different chunks. The lab sheet will let you know what other size chunks that you are going to cut out. But this is what you need to fill out on every single popcorn box. Okay, just what I did here. All right, so grab a lab sheet get this information filled in, and then you'll start cutting out some other different size popcorn boxes.